Hello again and welcome back. This is your trainer Eric, and today we're going to talk about the words farther and further. Is there a difference between the two? Are they interchangeable? Well, let's find out together, shall we? See you in a bit. Alright, so the words are farther and further. This is another tricky pair of words, not only because they almost sound the same, but also because their definitions actually overlap. Okay, so let's get right to it. Let's start with the pronunciation of the words. The first one is farther, so that's far, like an R, and the second one is further. So you have, if you're familiar with pronunciation guides, this is like it's a slur. Okay, so further versus farther. So again, the first one is farther, the second is further. So let's start with farther. So farther is the comparative form of far, adjective far, meaning greater in distance, and the superlative form is farthest. So you have the inflections far, that's the base form. Farther is the comparative form, and farthest is the superlative form. Now let's go to the meaning. So when you say farther, it means, or it refers to a greater physical distance. So it's more distant. It's more distant in especially space and time. So we're not only talking about space here, we're also talking about time. And farther can be used both as an adjective and also as an adverb. Let's have some sentences. First, use as an adjective. The dress shop is farther away than the bake shop. So you're comparing here the dress shop and the bake shop. So the dress shop is more distant compared to the bake shop. And then the convenience store is at the farther end of the block. So as you can see, it's being used as an adjective here in these two sentences. What about as an adverb? So we have, he has run farther than the rest of us, meaning he has run at a greater physical distance than the rest of us. And then I'm so tired, I can't walk any farther from here. So we're using the word as an adverb. Now what about further? For further, it means to a greater extent or degree. Now this is one use that you cannot apply to the first one, farther. Okay, to a greater extent or degree. It can also mean in addition or furthermore. And another difference between the two is further can also be used as a verb, whereas the previous one, farther, can only be used as an adverb or an adjective. But this time, further can be used as a verb. It means to promote the growth of something. Okay, it can also mean to or at a greater distance. Now this is where the meanings of the two overlap. So farther is used more frequently than further when talking about physical distance. But again, some native speakers of English actually interchange the use of the two. All right, when they're referring to distance, whether it's physical or if it's metaphorical or figurative, they actually use further as well. Okay, so that's probably one of the reasons why it can be confusing to use the word. Now let's go to some example sentences. Use as an adverb. I have to investigate further to know the truth. Another example, the students were further impacted by the school's closure. The students were further impacted by the school's closure. So we're using the word here as an adverb. What about as an adjective? Do you have further details about the incident? Why adjective? Because it's modifying the word details, the noun. Further details. And then further violations of our rules will no longer be tolerated. That's used as an adjective. What about as a verb? Remember, the meaning of further as a verb is to promote the growth of something. So we have a couple of examples here. Using social media to further your brand is a smart idea. It means that if you use social media to promote the growth of your brand, that is a smart idea. Some workers feel the need to further their cause. So we're using that again as a verb. Let's have a quick exercise. I want you to fill in the blank with the correct word, if it's farther with an A or further with a U. First one. Can you please blank explain the lesson? Can you please blank explain the lesson? So the answer is further explain the lesson, meaning in addition, furthermore. Can you please explain the lesson furthermore? Right? Next one. Which is blank from the Earth, Mars or Jupiter? Which is blank from the Earth, Mars or Jupiter? Of course, we're talking about physical distance here, so we're using the comparative form of far, which is farther. Okay, which is farther from Earth, Mars or Jupiter? So remember these tips. You use farther when you need to measure, but you use further in almost all other situations. So if you don't want to be incorrect in using the words, then when you're talking about physical distances, then use farther with an A. Okay, and in almost all other situations, you can use the word further. All right. So I hope that clears it up for you. The words are farther and further. Again, if you have any suggestions on what topic to discuss here, I'd be glad to study them, research them, and discuss them with you. And hopefully, again, this video was useful to you. If you liked it, please give it a like, share, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. It will help grow the channel. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.